going on, guys? Alex here with 814EDC, and today I am ready to do my final two reviews from Kevin, LeftyEDC's loaners. If you guys saw Thursday, I think Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday's videos, I was trying to get everything done. I had 2 knives done and I had 2 more to go, but the weather did not cooperate. It started storming pretty heavily and stuff like that, so I had to go inside, and I ended up doing some other stuff to help around the house, so I didn't get to do those 2 that day. And then I was just super slammed over the weekend. You guys are seeing this, you guys are probably gonna see this on Tuesday. I'm filming this on Monday, August 16th. So I want to get these 2 wrapped up so I can get the knives shipped back to Kev in the morning or in the afternoon once I'm done with work. So this knife, jumping right into reviews, the knife that I want to talk about right now is the Demko Knives AD20.5. I got halfway done with this review outside before I had to stop, before it started storming. So I was going to try to incorporate that into this, but it was just, I figured I'd start fresh from scratch and see where I went from there. So the 20.5 is arguably one of the hottest knives, if not the hottest knife since Blade Show. These were announced probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks before Blade Show, and there was a ton of people, it was kind of gaining steam and a lot of popularity amongst people. There's a lot of hype surrounding it. And I think Blade Show was the first place you could get them at, and I want to say they dropped like the week following Blade Show, and they're still dropping in continuous, small batches. It's super hard to get. Both this one and the Shark's Foot variant are super hard to get. I have thought about getting one before, but I was glad, that's why I was super glad that Kevin was able to send this to me to check out, because whenever I would get on Instagram and be scrolling through like the stories, whatever retailer would have them, I would see it, but it'd be like an hour later after their post went live, so they'd always be sold out and stuff like that. So that's why I'm glad Kev got this to send to me, or was able to send this to me. He picked this one up from Blade Show. His serial number, because these are numbered, is 94 out of 100. And a huge reason for the popularity is because Demko, if you guys don't know who Demko is, which I'm sure you do, makes the 8020 custom or mid-tech model that goes around $400 to $450, and it's a bigger, beefier, stouter knife, where this one was coming in, with lesser materials, but slimmer, smaller, more EDC, sizable, in a much cheaper price point and mass produced. So a lot of people were seeing that and being really excited about it, and I was included in that as well. One thing I would like to note is, one reason why I was super stoked to get this in, because Demko is from Wampum, PA. You guys can see this. I'm trying to get the good lighting in here. It's actually raining outside right now. I just got home from work and it's raining out, so I wasn't able to do the reviews outside where I normally like to do them. So I'm in my room. I have like my overhead light, my big window open, and my nightstand light is on. So hopefully you guys can see everything okay and everything like that. I have my fan on too, so hopefully that's not distorting audio very well. I'm trying not to scream to interrupt other people in my house. But yeah, so Wampum, PA is actually, I want to say like an hour from me, down towards Pittsburgh. And I didn't know that he was from that area until probably a couple months ago. But I just think that's super cool that he's from a little old small, like I'd never even heard of Wampum, PA before. It's near a bigger city, not Pittsburgh, but a bigger town that I'm aware of here in northwestern Pennsylvania. And I'm just super, intrigued that he's making such cool knives out of such a small town area. I think that's so cool. And I've always wanted a, production, or not, his production 8020, I guess not production, but the 8020, which is sort of a mid-tech, but it's just been a little too expensive for me to grab, and it's a little too big, if I'm being honest. I don't think I would need such a beefy blade. Maybe in the future I'll get one, but yeah, that's why I was, like I keep saying, I was excited that Kevin was able to send this to me, because this is something that I've wanted to check out, and that I've been excited to get my hands on. So we'll jump right into materials. I've rambled on long enough about, other background stories around the knife, but we have here the clip point version. Has the Demko signature right there. On the other side, it shows that we have AS10A, and it is made in Taiwan, which people were basically saying that Cold Steel is producing these because Demko has partnered with Cold Steel many times in the past. And it's, you know, if I felt a few Cold Steels, not too many, but it definitely feels like their build quality and, you know, Taiwan Cold Steel. So basically it's Cold Steel. But this, like I said, is the clip point version. You have a hole right here, and then you also have dual thumb studs. The version that I would want to buy is the Shark's Foot version. So if I ever happen to buy that in the future, I'm really glad that I've gotten to check this one out as well. The handle scales are FRN, which I know some people have a lot of gripe with FRN, and it says it's bad and everything like that. It says it feels cheap, which I'm, you know, normally not too big of a picky guy with that. FRN normally doesn't bother me that much, but I will say that this FRN feels really nice. It honestly feels kind of like G10, which some people may agree, some people may not agree with, but it feels very, you know, very high quality for FRN, which it's good. So it's gray. You can see that it has the billboarding there, AD20.5. I'm not a huge fan of the billboarding. I wish it was just a nice clean handle. There's nothing on there. It's on the left hand or the clip side too, but the clip covers it, which is nice. So it does come with a left and right hand clip. So whatever side your clip's on, you will see the AD20.5. Not, like I said, not a huge fan of that. I think it looks kind of just thrown on there. I think it'd look better if it wasn't included on there as well. The pot clip is not loop over style or deep carry. It's very thin to the knife, which is nice too, or nice, you know, from it, but I wish it was deep carry. I know they make, I forget what the guy's name is, Pop's Custom Shop or something like that. I know Kevin and Jake have gotten them before. Deep carry clips for these, or for the 8020s. I think they would fit these too. But I heard from their reviews, I think that they're like, are too much of a hot spot when using it. So they've reverted back to using their stock clips on their 8020. Got my sparkling water here. I feel like Kev drinking sparkling water. But yeah, so FRN, not loop over style deep carry clip, but goes in and out of the pocket very well. FRN backspacer, same color as the scales. And then probably the whole shining star of the knife, and that is this thing right here, the Shark lock. This is Demko's newest lock, and people are kind of going crazy about it. It's super intuitive, super easy to use, and super strong. And I had never experienced it before this knife, and you know, that's basically why I wanted to try it out. So I think that's everything for materials. For liners, there are liners. They're nested in there, which is nice. Everything's rounded off nicely, no sharp edges or anything like that. So the fit and finish on this is pretty good. The blade shape is a clip point, like I said. It's not super thin behind the edge. It's somewhere in the middle between, you know, thick and really thin. But it slices through stuff very nicely. I cut some paper and a little bit of cardboard with it, and it cut it very well. Has a nice edge on it. AS10A is a steel that I'm familiar with Cold Steel using. I have never experienced it before this knife, and you know, I've heard some mixed reviews on it as well, but like I said, I cut a little bit of paper and some cardboard with it, and it did fine. I don't know how well it would stand up over the course of some hard use. I don't hard use my knives that much, let alone a loader knife, so I'm not really able to give you good feedback on that. But for my usage, it held an edge fine. So that's very little usage to be exact, but you know, it is what it is. So I think that's everything for materials. We'll jump into action. And more specifically with the Shark lock. So like I said, there are dual thumb studs on here with the hole. So there's technically multiple ways you can open this. You can slow roll it with the hole. You can slow roll it with the thumb stud. You can thumb flick with the thumb stud. You can middle finger flick with the hole. You can middle finger flick with the thumb stud. And then you can use a Shark lock to kind of use it like an access lock where you flick it up. I'm not big on, I think I've talked about this before in videos, but I'm not super big on, you know, doing this in public. But if you're sitting on the couch watching TV or anything like that, I can see the, you know, the merit in wanting to fidget with your knife like that. But I'm not going to pull this out of my pocket and flick it up like that in public. I'll just do, you know, a nice thumb flick or something like that. But that's just me, and my, you know, I don't like drawing attention to knives in public and stuff like that. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on the subject. But at the same time, it's very fidgetable, very fidget friendly. And that's a huge draw to people because a shark lock is kind of like a compression lock in the sense where everything's up here and you can control it up here. It's a free dropper. Very, very fun. I mean, if you, all you gotta do is pull back here and it comes right down. Get it out. You just pull kind of back and up a little bit, because if you pull straight back, it won't release. You kind of have to, there's some jimping on there that you just have to pull up and back, and it comes right down. And it's super fun to play with. For sure, one of the most fidgetable knives I think I've ever experienced. Lefty, it's good. Middle finger flick lefty, it's good. All around, it's, you know, very fun to play with. And, you know, sometimes when you have knives that are really fun to fidget with and, you know, that drop shut and stuff like that, it leaves a little bit of, you know, blade play. And really, there's not much blade play at all. It's very sturdy, you know, and doubled with that shark lock, this thing is not going to, you know, falter at anything that you're using. I've seen, I think, some people saying that the shark lock is arguably the strongest lock Demko has come out with. You know, and he has multiple locks with cold steel that he's done, and from what I've heard, I've never experienced any of them, but they've all been super, super strong. So to put this up, you know, on top of that category is really, you know, reassuring and makes you really want to use this knife. Kind of off topic from action, but yeah, action's very good on this, guys. I don't know if this is on bearings or washers. I would assume it's on bearings to get that drop shuttiness and stuff like that. So yeah, really any way you want to thumb flick, middle finger flick, slow roll, shark lock it out. Super, super fun. Super, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Super satisfying to fidget with and play with. Just good all around. So next up is ergos. And ergos are actually really good on this. So as you guys can see, it has a choil up here, a finger groove, and then it kind of gets a belly here, and then it tapers back off. When I'm choked back, I get a full 4-fingered grip on there. My thumb kind of lands on the shark lock right here, but it's really comfortable. And then if I put my thumb forward, it lands here in the jimping, and it's also very comfortable. The jimping isn't super aggressive. It's not going to tear your finger up or anything like that. Just a nice, comfortable grip. You sort of get locked in behind this restriction point right here. So you're not going to slide off this knife. You're not going to lose it. You're really locked in. And the ergos fit my hand very, very well. Now with the choil, you can choke up and it's still comfortable. I don't feel as locked in and as, you know, as reassured if I'm choked back like this, but this is for more finer work. You're not going to be using it as hard if you're up like this, and it's still comfortable. The choil's plenty big if you want to put this much finger, if you want to put this much finger, all around comfortable. So I have to, you know, applaud them for the ergos. I never felt an 80-20, but you know, it's bigger, it's thicker, it's beefier, and this is super, super thin. So I mean, that doubled with the awesome ergos, I mean, really, really good, guys. Really, really enjoy this. Very comfortable in the hand, and I'm sure that this would be a really good, you know, hard use work knife that you go out and you use daily, doing really strenuous tasks. You're going to be locked in, feeling very, very comfortable with using this knife. Next is carrying. Now, I just talked about how thin the knife is. It's really, really thin. But the pot clip is definitely lacking. I would like to see a deep carry clip on there somehow. It's nice that the pot clip doesn't, you know, sit very proud of the knife, so it's not a hot spot in your hands like the aftermarket deep carry clips, but I would somehow like them to, you know, figure out a way to put a deep carry clip on here that would allow them, you know, to not have as much of a hot spot as the aftermarket ones, would still provide you with that deep carryability. Because this much of the knife sticks out of your pocket. I'm not a huge fan of that. Some guys don't, some guys like that because they have a lot of, real estate to pull up out of your pocket. I'm not one of those guys. I would much rather have my knife sit deeper in my pocket. I really have no issue with reaching down in my pocket to pull it up out, with the pocket clip and back here. No issue in that at all. Deep carry is the way to go. So I have to kind of knock them for not deep carrying. But it's nice they give you left or right hand carry so they can appeal to the lefties out there. I know a lot of knives don't do that, and it's nice that they include, because the pocket clip won't work on both sides. You get one, you get two, one left, one right. So that's really cool. But yeah, carry is good for thinness, not so good for, deep carry ability or anything like that. So it's kind of half and half for me. But it rides in the pocket well. There's not much here to catch on to unless you're really down deep in your pocket. You might catch on the shark lock a little bit, but like I always say, I'm not ever shoving my hand down in there to grab anything besides my phone. So I just need 2 fingers to get that. So carry is iffy. Now my last category that I like to talk about is price point and what I recommend. I would recommend this knife. For price, it's $150 for this or the sheep's foot blade. Now you are paying $150 for Austin A and FRN, which is kind of a lot for me. I would feel a lot more comfortable in the 125 range, somewhere in there, just a little bit cheaper. But I would still recommend this knife because it's still, you're getting really good ergonomics. You're getting the shark lock, which is a ton of fun to fidget with, a ton of fun to play with, really strong for usage. Just all around a really cool and badass lock. You're getting, a very thin knife. You're getting it made by, Andrew Demko, who is, a very hot designer right now. He is making, coming out with these. He's continuing to come out with his 80/20s, which are still super, super hot. A lot of people I saw were saying that they hoped he comes out with an 80/20, he makes it in this size with better materials and everything like that. And that is something that I would 100% buy. I would splurge for that, I think, if he was able to give me, G10 or Micarta with like 3V or Crewwear or M390 or 20CV, something like that. I would definitely pay more for that one. But I still think $150 for this. Maybe it's a little high for the materials, but everything else you're getting, I think that's a good deal. You're supporting a good maker, and it's really cool that he decided to come out with a production model at a cheaper price point that is able to get into more people's hands more frequently. I think that's awesome that he thought of the knife community and he thought of the people that buy his knives or wanted to buy his knives that couldn't, and that they were able to with this. I think that's super, super cool, and I have to applaud him for that. So I would recommend it. Do I see myself personally picking one up? Yes, but not as of right now. I really like it, but it's not a knife that screams, okay, I have to go buy it right now. Kev offered for me to buy this, or offered to sell it to me at retail, and if I had unlimited knife funds, I would probably have bought it. But I really, now that I've experienced it, I really don't need it as of right now. Plus, I would really like to get a shark's foot, shark's foot, whatever you want to call it, in the future. Maybe I'll wait until they come out with some different colorways, some different materials, something like that. I'm okay with waiting until I get another one of these. I don't really, it's just not something that screams, I really need to add to the collection right now. But someday I would really like to do that. So hopefully that made sense to you guys. I kind of rambled there for a little bit, but yeah. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. Is it worth $150? Materials, maybe not, but everything else, yes. Am I buying it? Not right now. In the future, 100% I'll have one in the collection. It's just kind of one of those waiting games and wanting to try other things for the channel and for the collection. So that's all I had to say today, guys, for the Demko Knives AD20.5. Thank you so much, Kev, for loaning this out to me. He will be linked tomorrow. Down below in the description, his Instagram and his YouTube. Go give him a shout out. Tell him I sent you if you aren't already subscribed to him, which I'm sure most of you guys came from him to me. So if not, go tell him I sent you. He just crossed over 2K, which I'm so proud of you, Kev. You deserve it. You work your tail off, putting out tons and tons of content. I'm actually, with working and being so busy, I'm kind of behind on his videos. So one of these nights when I don't have anything to do, I really need to binge watch Kev's videos and catch up to him. So like I said, he will be linked down below. Leave a comment in the description, what your thoughts are on the AD20.5, if you like it, if you don't like it, if you have one or if you have an 8020, just let me know. As always, I love talking to you guys, and I will get this uploaded probably Tuesday, and then you guys will see the Asher Knife Co. Spiro frame lock uploaded the following day. And I also have an unboxing to film, so that'll be on Thursday. So be on the lookout for those guys. Thank you as always, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.